This one's fairly old, but gold. It might help someone out, it might not. I mean, this car's old, man. This is a 2005. We do maybe one a week of these still, and get other garages asking questions and stuff. It's so not everyone knows. You might know, but not everybody knows. Ford Focus with lots of random faults, such as intermittent non-start, cutting out while driving, warning lights on the dash, losing ABS, losing steering systems, losing all sorts of crap, loads of random lights coming on. Instrument panel fault. Done so many of these that these days I don't even bother plugging into them. For the amount of time it takes to take it apart and have a look, might as well just do that. So, diagnosing these. Right, so you get in, if it's the non-start fault, fairly straightforward. You'll usually get that immobiliser light will be on. This was currently not playing up, but it does intermittently when it was. You plug it in and mess about and it could send you on a wild goose chase, or you could give it a good old slap, and then if it starts, it starts. Same as all the other faults. If you're on road test and it starts playing up, fucking hit the instrument panel. If it's that, it'll start doing other random shit and it'll go back to normal. Very quick way of diagnosing it. Right, let's pull it out. As you can see, this one's loose, but I haven't taken it out. That's one thing. So let's get these off. Really straightforward. Yank it forward, out. Down the bottom corners, there's a screw there, a screw there. And up the top, when that goes in the dash, can be a bit of a fucker. So if you get some trim tools and you slide one there, one there, one there, it'll just prise it away, and those little tang things will come down from there. Because otherwise you don't want to be using screwdrivers and marking all your customer stuff. I'm going to be as rough as you like on this because it's, like I said, this is my car I bought off customer. I don't really care. I would advise before anyone does any work on these is back it up. Use a fucking tool, whether OBD or once it's out you can pin it out and back it up, or if you want to read the EEPROM you can, because it's fairly easy to break one. They're fairly fragile. Or if you take it out and find it's fucked and you need to replace it because it's beyond repair, you've got the information, the immobiliser stuff there to go. Unplugging it, really straightforward. I'm going to try and do this whole job one-handed. If I fucking can. Come on, you slag. Can you see me? There we go. Plug off. Instrument panel out. There we go. Alright, we've got an instrument panel. What normally happens is the can lines, where the can lines meet, which I think is, I can't remember offhand, 17 and 16 connectors inside there on the circuit board. A bit of corrosion causes all sorts of fucking havoc. You can test these with a scope or whatever, but why fuck around when we see it almost daily? Right. Opening it up, piece of piss. Little tabby guys, look at them. We've got these ones for the back, and them ones for the front. So, this is fucking difficult with a phone. Just gently ease them out. Right, there's the front of the panel off. Right, because these can rest in all sorts of different places, you should mark them up. You use your own fucking methods for that. I would normally just put a bit of tape there and then draw, but I don't care, it's mine. And twist them anti-clockwise, remember that. Twist and pull. Twist and pull. Twist and pull. Get off. Done. Right, next. Pop him off. Easy. Whoa. There is different types of instrument panel. This affects all sorts of Fords from fucking 2002 onwards, I reckon. Fiestas, Focuses, Mondeos, the Cougar. It doesn't have to look like this. There's plenty of dashes that have exact same issue with the Fords. Like I say, it's really easy to pull it apart and just have a look. Right, flip her over. Lots of little tabs on here. This is going to be very difficult one-handed, but we'll try it. Yeah, this is fucking impossible with one hand. And that's one. This is not normally how I do it. Normally I'd push those in, but we'll do it one hand. I'm going to be right. Two. There you go. She's off. Front bit is there. Right. You got the LCD. There's different types of fittings for the LCDs. I would never treat a customer's car like this, by the way. Got lots of little tabs here. It's a lot easier when you got two hands. Gently go around. You can use these bits to pull it up with. Fairly sturdy. But again, when you're a one-handed chappy, things can be a bit more fucking fiddly. Come off, you cunt. bit of gentle persuasion. One left in the fucking corner, being a prick. Off. Right, there you go. So, as you can see, them pins there, you can see them clearly, are for the LCD screen, which goes into that connector block there, so be steady when putting them back in. Right, our block connector, what's the back look like? Fucking shit. Well, I don't know whether you can see this. These little puppies here, fairly corroded. Not the worst in the world, to be honest. But that's why this is very intermittent, this problem. Also, let's have a quick look around the board, see if we can see anything else quickly. These need reflashing. It's nice to go over any other bits of solder you can do, but while you're there, reflash it. Boom, we'll be done. Right, I'm going to do that now. Unfortunately, I cannot do that one-handed. Hope this helps somebody. Cheers. Bye. Just quickly, something I wanted to add, obviously. I've thrown it back on, I haven't thrown the front cover on. That whole process of stripping it down to inspect it took a total of, what, 10 minutes? So in my opinion, it is well worth doing, even like I say, customers not having any of these faults, but during a scan you've noticed random can line faults and things like that. It's worth having a look. Not trying to make more money out of your customer, but to help your customer out, so that they don't suffer with these problems in the future.